Universal Basic Income, UBI, Citizens' Basic Income, or simply Basic Income, is an idea whose time appears to have come. The Welsh government has committed to trialling it. The Scottish government has invested in the feasibility of pilots. Several English cities are keen to test it out, and a number of political parties included UBI trials in their manifestos. But is it really the right basis on which to build a post-pandemic society? There are many models, but at its heart it is a regular cash payment every individual receives, without any reference to their other income or wealth, and without any conditions. Payment amounts can vary according to broad demographic characteristics, such as a different payment for working-age adults, children and pensioners. It is important to distinguish UBI from a minimum income guarantee, which at its most basic is simply a set of policies designed to ensure no one falls below a set income level. Some argue that universal basic income is part of a radical rethinking of our economy and society that provides a level of economic security to everyone and destigmatizes the social security system. It is also seen as a potential solution to insecurity in the labor market. Some advocates also argue that UBI could improve work incentives if it was either not withdrawn at all as people earned more or was withdrawn at a lower rate than in the current benefit system. Although others worry that the incentive to enter work at all might be reduced if people could rely on a high enough income outside it. Alongside problems in our social security system, many advocates also see UBI as a response to increasing insecurity in our labor market. Too often low-paid jobs are unpredictable and insecure. Workers don't know what shifts or hours they will be working from one week to the next or how long the job will last. People cycle in and out of low-paid, temporary jobs, never able to rely on a steady income. UBI could provide a fixed income stream to offset this earnings volatility. In addition, some argue that UBI would free people to choose whether to take paid work or care for others, train or do other activities, and would recognize the value to society of such activities. In this scenario, it might bring wider benefits through better job matches and people holding out for better quality work, creating pressure on employers to pay more and achieve greater productivity. Most UBI proposals now include two features, in contrast to some earlier proposals which intended to replace all benefits with UBI or introduce UBI without accompanying tax changes. Alongside flat payments, there would continue to be a system of benefits linked to costs. A system of flat payments alone could not offer adequate support with varying costs of housing, childcare or disability. This means that there would continue to be a degree of complexity and means testing even if UBI was introduced, sometimes known as UBI+, and that efforts to improve the existing system must continue. Second, UBI would replace parts of the tax system as well as social security. Most likely, the tax-free personal allowance would be removed, so people would pay tax on the entirety of their earned income. Depending on the design, many on lower to middle incomes would more than recoup this in the universal payment. A key design question is obviously the level at which UBI is set. Would it be based below, at, or just above current benefit levels? Or provide much higher payments, for instance at the level of JRF's minimum income standard? This would be the main determinant of both the cost of UBI and its immediate impact on poverty levels. A recent study examined the costs and benefits of a citizen's basic income in Scotland at current benefit or at minimum income standard level. These costs relate to introducing the scheme in Scotland. Those for a UK-wide version would be much higher. However, estimates of necessary tax rate increases would be similar whether in Scotland or across the whole country. Would giving people an income regardless of work lead to many more people deciding not to take paid employment, valuing the unpaid work of careers and contributions to society other than paid jobs? If so, would that damage or improve our economy and society? Alternatively, UBI could increase work incentives by reducing the rate at which income from it was reduced as someone earned more. For example, universal credit is reduced by 63p in every pound earned above a set level. Under some versions of UBI, this would change to someone losing only 20p for every pound earned. Economic models estimate employment effects purely through a financial lens. Work incentives are calculated according to the net financial gain from taking a job or increasing earnings. Most modeling suggests that UBI, accompanied by higher taxes on earnings to pay for it, would have a complex mix of impacts. Some groups see increased work incentives because their benefits are reduced by less as they move into work or earn more. Others have lower work incentives due to unearned income and higher tax rates. A change on the scale of UBI would be likely to affect other aspects of our economy. For instance, how wages were set. It is hard to predict how individuals and businesses might react to such changes. In addition, in the real world, we don't make decisions purely on the basis assumed in economic modeling. There is limited evidence about how people respond to UBI in practice. So far, trials suggest that providing an unconditional payment may not have the negative employment effects found in some modeling. Finland is the only country to have carried out a nationwide, randomized control trial of UBI. The evaluation found that people receiving basic income were more likely to be in work than those in the control group. This is not conclusive, due to the introduction of other unemployment policies at the same time, although the signs from other smaller trials have also been positive, such as those in Stockton, California and the Netherlands. Some versions of UBI could reduce poverty and improve recipients' mental health and well-being. But it would be expensive. It would require significant increases in tax rates, which people may be reluctant to accept, even if many of those on low to middle incomes would be better off overall once receipt of their UBI payment is accounted for. The principle of offering payments without conditions might well also meet resistance among the public. It is undoubtedly true that our social security system is failing to protect people from destitution and hardship. We need better coverage and to invest more in the system. But a multitude of changes to the existing system would go a long way to achieving those goals, without the expense and disruption of a new system. We could remove the benefit cap, the 2-child limit and the 5-week wait. Extend sick pay to all. Boost support for those at most risk of poverty. Run national take-up campaigns and reform council tax. A range of other measures, such as these, could be taken to fulfill other goals or principles of UBI. None of these individual changes would eradicate poverty, as a generous UBI system would. They would all require money and political will. But pursuing such improvements could transform the system for a fraction of the cost and difficulty of that kind associated with UBI. Invest wisely. And as always, take care of your money.